Alright guys, it's your boy Patty Rick out here on the beautiful island of Mallorca in Spain, and we are here with Triumph on the newly redesigned, or the all-new in my particular case, Speed Twin 1200 RS. We are here on the all-new RS. There are a lot of stats that I know of the differences between this and the 1200, which I get the pleasure of riding after lunch today. But the big differences between this guy and that 1200 model, the standard Speed Twin, are kind of as follows. We've got a lower, more aggressive kind of forward handlebar here. We do have some beautiful Brembo master cylinder and Brembo Stylema front brakes, as well as a Brembo's on the rear. We've got Marzocchini front, I don't know how to pronounce it. This word on the screen right now, thanks Chris, 43 millimeter front forks that are 100% fully adjustable. And then we have dual Öhlins shocks with external rear reservoirs on the rear. But we also have a little bit of rear sets. They're 40 millimeters further back, and they're, I want to say it was like 15 or 20 millimeters raised up compared to the standard Speed Twin. And then the biggest thing is the quick shifter. So that is a standard quick shifter on the RS model. And then to go along with that quick shifter and the electronic package on this guy, we also have a sport mode. And we are starting our day off in rain mode. We are unfamiliar with these roads. We are on an unfamiliar bike. We are going to take our time and enjoy ourselves. We do have some very sticky tires. We've got plenty of power, plenty of torque. Obviously, Triumph's TC, traction control, and their ABS systems are great on these machines. As we rock our way through these mountains, we're going to go over a couple more differences between this RS model and the base, other than the couple that I've mentioned previously. First and foremost, and the most obvious, is going to be colorways. So not only is the look of this bike a little different, but the colorways that are available, this beautiful orange, there's a sapphire black as well, that is just an absolutely gorgeous color. Now the seat on this is a little different. We're talking like a 10 to 15 millimeter seat height difference. The angle of it is slightly different over the 1200 model. I say 1200, they're both 1200s, over the base. Now guys, I'm just gonna ride this bike for a little while, enjoy these, holy shit, incredible views. Focus on the road ahead because it is windy, it is twisty. Guys, we are here at lunch, just getting done with the RS for the morning, having an absolute blast. Really stoked to get on the standard edition after lunch. We got the whole crew over here at this, to say cliffside would probably be an understatement, but this beautiful cliffside restaurant. You guys gotta check this out. This view, absolutely bananas over the little town down there, the beautiful marina, huge coast. And then, you know, you've got the seawater, and then you've got multi-thousand foot mountains right there. Absolutely incredible. We just got done riding from one side of the valley down it through and up this side. Holy crap, gang. This is absolutely gorgeous. Truly incredible. Having such a blast. Thank you to Triumph for having us out. Joined the rest of the crew for lunch, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, that's Ryan from motorcycle.com. Just blew my absolute doors off. Well, if I had doors, I guess. But he has just traded me his beautiful white base model, and he grabbed my RS. As we are done with lunch and starting our hour and a half-ish ride back to the hotel. We've got a couple of sights to see along the way. Really stoked to be checking out the base model now. I don't want to call it a base model, the standard model, I think is a better way to phrase that. But it is an absolutely fantastic, very capable motorcycle. Ryan was telling me all about it. He seems to really like it. I think he is going to love that RS. But nevertheless, we are on it now. It is our baby for the rest of the day. So we are going to enjoy a little more comfortable ride. A little bit different seat height. The rear sets are not so far back. They're more of a, still sporty. I don't want to call them standard. They're still, you know, feet below my thighs, but not as far back as they are on the RS, which is all well and good. We do not have the Brembo brakes on this model, although we do have a beautiful 4-pot caliper dual setup on the front and that same 2-pot rear that the RS has, or similar, not the same. Suspension is much softer on this bike. It's definitely a little more comfort oriented than it is sporty oriented, and that's okay, that's fine by me. Handlebars are a little bit higher, I believe, a little bit further back than the RS model. But it is that same engine, transmission, the gearing is all the same. We do not get the quick shifter or sport mode here on the standard model, but we do have both rain and road mode. Now those rain and road modes adjust both traction control and ABS, as well as the throttle mapping for both of those modes. And then, as we talked about on the RS, the sport mode simply adjusts the traction control a little further. It is the same ABS map that you find on road mode, and it does adjust the throttle map. But wow, this bike is really responsive, even in its not so sporty form. I actually feel much more comfortable body position wise on this bike, and I feel like I have a little bit more control over it. Now, I may be a little biased because I've spent the morning on the RS and it's kind of gotten my confidence up throughout the day, but this more upright seating position is just a more natural feel for me and is allowing me to have a good bit of fun. We'll go down to second here, accelerate out of the turn, front wheel will lift up a little bit, traction control light will come on, we'll get her tilted in, we'll get our body position right as we go around this long sweeper, looking through the corner, and accelerate on exit, chop the throttle. The engine braking is absolutely fantastic on this bike, especially in second gear. So it's really easy to just kind of get close to a corner, roll off, and let the engine braking slow you down as we make our way into this giant, beautiful rocky canyon here. There's a little bit of dive on this front suspension. You can really feel it, but it is comfortable. And if you know it's coming and you know it's going to be there, it's easy to ride around. Not a big deal. It's not something that is unpredictable in any way, shape, or form. You know it's going to happen and how much it's going to move. So here we'll get on the rear brake. The rear brake on the RS, absolutely fantastic. Similar situation here on the standard model. Feels really good. These bikes, I feel you need to be using rear brake when slowing it down, especially when riding a little more spiritedly. The front brake is good. It just really causes the front to dive, so make sure you use an adequate amount of rear brake. You can keep the bike much more flat as you are adjusting your speed through these corners. And we'll talk about this bike because it is 105 PS, aka horsepower, depends on where you are, and 112 Newton meters of torque out of the 270 degree crank 1200cc parallel twin that Triumph has been so well known for. We talked about on the RS, they did a couple of subtle design changes to the engine casings as well as some of the side panels on this bike to give it that more modern look, but they have left this engine virtually alone. They've added more power. They've added a higher redline. It does rev all the way out to 8,000 RPM, which is fan-friggin-tastic. One of the big things that Triumph has said they really like about these bikes, and one of the things that their customer base has loved about these bikes, is the pop, burble, and bangs that come with this exhaust system. Now this is a stock exhaust. There's nothing super fancy about it, but it does just sound fantastic. That 270 parallel twin makes a good noise. Alright guys, it is late in the afternoon as we are carving up some canyon roads here in Mallorca. There is the city. We are headed that way shortly. back to our hotel, and back to a wonderful dinner with some wonderful people. But let me give you guys my quick final thoughts on the 2025 Triumph Speed Twin 1200 and the 1200 RS I was on earlier today. You know, I think there's a really specific group of people that this bike is for, and I think that group is surprisingly broad. I know that makes no sense. Specific group of people, but it's a very broad group. You know, I think this bike is for people looking for the neo-modern classic, people who are maybe transitioning down out of hyper nakeds or sport naked market that want something that has a little bit of performance but is a little more casual in its riding position and in its feel. Is this a bike I would road trip with? Probably not. Is it a bike I would absolutely go spend a weekend in the mountains with? Absolutely. If I would just cruise around town, wanted to go down to bike night or whatever, this is absolutely the bike I would take. Honestly, between the two, I think I prefer the standard model. Hear me out, gang. The suspension is really good on the other one. The brakes are really, really good on the RS. This has 75 to 80% of the braking, if not more. The suspension on this is much more supple. It absorbs kind of those undulations a little bit better, absorbs all the bumps on the road a little bit better. For a daily rider, the standard model is for sure the one I'm going for. I don't usually fit well on bikes with like tight rear sets. Now those are only 40 millimeters different. They're 40 mils back and like 16 mils up. So not a huge difference over where the feet are on this bike. But that 40 mil makes a big enough difference where this one is just so much more comfortable. I can still lean this one over almost as much as that one. I've not had any issue, you know, scrubbing toes, scrubbing the pegs on this bike. It has been absolutely fantastic. Such a fun bike to ride all day. You know, for me, it's one of those bikes that does a lot like what the T120 does for me. It's just super cool looking. The Neo kind of classic look is something that I definitely vibe with, and it's got the performance and the power that makes it really, really fun to play with, which is kind of the ethos they use to build this bike. The whole point is that it's some Neo classic modern performance machine that is still decently comfortable and attainable for people. And at a price tag of under $15,000 for the standard model, I want to say it's just over 13. And then for the RS, we're looking at just under 16,995, I believe. The value is so built into this bike. It's been absolutely incredible to think about, you know, oh yeah, this bike does X, Y, and Z. It does such a good job at X, Y, and Z. But I will be damned if it just isn't good at everything that I ask it to do. So it's been truly incredible. So thank you, Triumph, for loaning us this bike for the day, letting me come out here to España and hang out with everybody. As we are now here at the end of our day, chilling. We're about to go inside, get rested up, take a shower, get some food, and enjoy a nice party tonight. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Outro crew, gang, what's your flavor? Are we going with the standard model? Are we going with the RS? What do we think? Again, I really, really like the standard model. I think the RS is absolutely fantastic. It has its audience. It's just not me. But dang, guys, really, really good. I also love the orange, but my wife would kill me if I got an orange bike. I really like the black and white. So for me, it's the standard model all day. Again, it's been your boy Patty Rick for Chase on Two Wheels. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you are into motorcycle content and want to see more stuff like it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Ok, hola. Te amo, es Patty Rick. Yo necesito un cerveza y tequila para mí y hamburguesas y papas fritas. I need a beer, tequila, burger, and Frenchy fries. Anyway,